Hello everyone, let's wait for some minutes until everyone joins us. Okay, I think we can start and welcome everyone to our today's session. And first of all, today I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to share my screen usually. Just and I'm going to, so since yesterday was the deadline for activity 09, today we are going to discuss the solution for this one. I agree that the task was quite complicated, since as I understand correctly, none of you managed to complete it, so let's then discuss it now and see what was actually expected to be done here. So first of all, it says that we need to implement Iterator interface with orders class, and there's hints that we can use generic type argument of iterable items. And oh no, sorry, this order 2, maybe let's start with a single order. Sorry, because yeah, so to implement orders we need to start with the order. So yeah, first of all, as it says, we need to implement comparable interface with order class. And in this sense here we can use comparable order class to implement comparable interface. Yeah. So we have we can implement comparable interface and place the type order. So here we actually show which to which object type we are going to compare our class, and as it stands that we need to implement it, so we need to implement all the methods needed. So first of all is the method compare to, and here it says what is the priority of the comparing required here. And as it stands, the first one is on item, so we need to check it. Before we start, as you remember, when we implement, we or anyone else implement the method compare to, it may return 3 different types of values. If the value is less than 0, it means that the current object is less than the one provided here. If integer is greater than 0, it means that the current object is greater than the one provided here. And if they are the same, then the returning value needs to be 0. So if it is less than 0, if it's greater than 0, if they're equal, so then we need to return 0. And to have this number, we can start with declaring it. So we can declare the integer result and give the initial value to it. So by default, let's assume that we have 0. Can I make it bigger? Yes, I can. Just one moment. Oh, yeah, zoom in. Editor, zoom in. Maybe so something the screen, we can even more zoom it. Okay, now it should be better. Yeah. here. So okay, very good. Thanks. So we can continue. Yeah, first of all, we need to compare the name, and we check the result. And so since the name of the customer needs to be so not the main, yeah, just simple the name. Yeah, name is the first priority. So since this is the string, it has the original method, and let's compare to someone else wants to join us. And yeah. So we need to check the name, and so this is the string we can use compare to method, and we need to compare it to the order provided here. So we get the result of the name. Then if result is 0, it means that the strings are the same. Then we need to go deeper. And go to the next priority. The next priority is customer number. So we check the customer number and compare it to customer number from the object provided. And in this case, if the result is still 0, then as it stands here, we need to check the count of items. And it can be done this way. So we subtract the current count of items from the one provided from the object here, and the result we will have the result we need. Why it is possible to question from someone is possible to compare and compared to because it comes not yeah, so that's really good question. As you can see, this compared to is called from order, right? So we are on the order level, but here we call it from the string, which is here. So that's the different method. That's not the same method. That's the method declared in the compare in the string class. If you check it here, it comes from string class. So that's the different compare method. Yeah, if we call it from like this way, result equals this compare to, we will go to the endless loop, and we won't have any result here. So that's why, yeah, that's really good to take off. So here we go from string, and we compare one string to another string. And the last point, we check the counts. And as you remember from so some of you had this issue that the result may be like 17 or 7 or minus 17 or something like that, not minus 1, and that's for that's the issue of the design of unit tests. So In this case, just simply as I've shown you last time, not last time, but I think it was on Friday, or that was last week, surely. We can change the value of the result. So if the result is less than 0, then we return -1. If the result is semicolon, if the result is greater than 0, then we return 1. Otherwise, just return 0. Yeah, so it's already here. That's the idea of compared to method. Again, we check the name. If the names are the same, then we go then we check the customer name. If the customer name is still the same, but if the customer names are the same, then we check for the count, and here we subtract the current count from the count provided from the object. So at the end we'll have the result. Let's see. So here we just do some adjustments, and at the end we'll have result -1, 1, or 0. Right, then let's move on. So now we implemented compare to. That was the only one, the only method which needs to be implemented from comparable class here. So first point is done. Now let's go to the second point, second to do, and here it is written that we need to override some methods. So let's start with public order. That's the constructor. That's the constructor method. And what it stands, we need to pass some parameters here. So you can pass int, you can pass integer, I mean the wrapper class, and it doesn't really matter in this case. So then we, as usually, assign the values from the constructor. And so it's yeah, so this not quite hard to know. So be careful to distinguishing the parameters provided from constructor and the actual parameters of the class, of the not on the class, of the object. What else does here? Compare to is done. Then we need to check the boolean equals string order. Okay. Instead of customer. Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see if we. Yes, Anna, I remember you had this issue, but maybe okay. Let's start with this one then. And if we had the same error, we will go back to here. It's fine if we have some errors at first try. Yeah. Nothing needs to be done correctly from the first from the first try. Yeah, we'll check it after that. Yeah, so another one is boolean equals. Yeah, so let's it also goes from the comparable class. However, as you can see here, it's already implemented, so we can just call super class. I don't want to do it here. I just simply check it from here. So again, let's see what's asked here for object. Okay. So yeah. So if return false by default, but if so since here's the object provided, we need to do the casting and we cast the object. We cast the object and we call the method compare to this, and that equals 0. Then we return true. Else the false is returned. Right, so really simple. If we compare 2 and here we get the result 0, it means that the objects are equal. And then they are equal. Yeah. Then equals return false, true. Yeah. Otherwise it returns false. So what else do we have here? Hashcode. We'll handle it in some hashcode action. Okay, so here we simply need to override the hashcode method, and it should return the string. So the string of the current object. So we are inside the object. Every object can be returned translated as a string. Then every string has the hash code. Yeah. So as I mentioned, it can be done this way. And the last one is toString. That's what we just talked about. And in the following way. Okay. So let's override the method toString. And here we'll return this name plus customer plus help. So, and that was practically it for the class order. And then we have another one which is the class orders, and this one is, could you explain line 68? Yes, sure. Yeah, as I said, yeah, first of all, it was mentioned that we need to return the hash code, and yeah, I tried to explain this once, but I think on Friday. But here, what we have, every class every object can be translated to string, right? So like in this case, all the objects, this object has the unique string, like all other objects. And so every string can be translated to the hash code. The hash code is basically the value which will be returned once the hash function is called. As you remember from the hash tables work. Okay, maybe let me get this image, this picture. So yeah, as you remember the principle of hash tables. So there are the keys, then there's the hash function, and hash function points to the place in the table. And basically the hash code is the value produced by hash function. So when it goes from key to hash function. And that's what happens here. We have the string, and the string goes, and the hash code is calculated from string. That is needed for the hashing, for the hash tables. Yeah, that is where is the object is here. So it just basically this one. Yeah. Yeah, but I think about the hash code. Someone asked about it on Friday. And at least this part was described by me. Yeah, maybe you haven't noted it, but I think that I mentioned about this part on Friday. It was last week, surely, but I think I mentioned about it, about the hash code in this particular case, how we need to deal with it. Yeah. I think I mentioned. But okay, it's fine, so that's how it should look like. Yeah, and yeah, that's, yeah, again, more questions about it. One for me was return objects, hash count, because, yeah, that's a good question, because basically it also has the unique value. That's also an option, because as we can see from here, the unique key, let's call it, key is name plus customer plus count. So that in result that will get you the unique hash code. Yeah, as that one is written here. You also have the hash method. Let's consider it as a hash function, and you provided count customer name. So that will also produce you the hash value. So that's the similar principle. The principle, yeah, again, the main principle of hash code is that is okay. There's a bit of explanation here. Returns a hash code for the string. The hash code is English. Yeah, it is computed in some way, but the idea of hash code is that again, as that was from the picture, just close it, but hope you remember it. Then but the idea again of the hash code is that it returns the unique the unique value for the string. So, and again, why it is needed? Because if we have the table, with the keys, then we need the hash value to the hash code to actually map the key to the value, to the row in the table. Right, that's why it is needed. So in this case, it's just the requirement of the the task. Then we have the orders, and for the orders that was a little bit much more complicated. And yeah, that's how it is. So let's start with the first one. To do one is to needs to create the data structure to hold some kind of collection. So let's do it. Kind of collection of orders. Example some list. Actually, there's no such type some list, but we can. As you remember, we usually use two types of lists. The one is array list, another is vector list. We usually use just array list. That's the one which will be used, but or linked list. Maybe let's declare it as the list. Use a simple list. There's no actual implementation orders. Yeah, we can already declare it. I like to use array list. And of course we need to import the corresponding classes on the top. So now we have the list. What else is needed here? Index to the current order for iterations from the orders in orders. Yes, and actually I don't remember to whom I explained this, but I mean, well, that was for everyone on Saturday, I think. I was explaining why we need this this index. So first of all, let's declare it. Current order. Let's start with 0. Okay, so someone's. Do we make list private? Because yeah, that's also that's a good question. So. Also, I haven't noticed that you are on the call. Are you joining as someone else? Because or you watch on YouTube stream? Small remark, because I usually just don't see you on the Google Meet. That's why I consider you as an absent. But okay. Yeah. So the question is why we declare this list as the private. That's a good question. It's yeah. Okay. That's fine, because yeah, you're watching the stream. Because you're previous, so I thought you are missed. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, why we declare it as the private one? Here also in the point 2, yeah, maybe let's do the point 2 and then I'll explain the structure of what we are doing here. The point 2 says that we need to implement the iterator. Iterator for the orders, not iterable, but iterator order. And so what does it mean? It means that this may be used as the iterator, and In this case, yeah, that can also be used as the collection of the orders. So in this case, we wrap the list inside this class. It means, and we can use this class as the iterator of the orders. And what's the idea of the iterator? Previously, we were working with the iterators, as you remember. So the idea is that we have the kind of collection. Yeah, it can be a list. It can be basically the collection of items with the same type and with the same or yeah, it can also be different types. If we have, for example, if we have kind of superclass, the object with the type which is the superclass for different objects, then we can store all these objects inside this collection. And so what we have the object which represents yeah, the collection. And to represent the collection, we need to have the collection, right? The list which stores this collection inside in the list, and then we have the iterator. Yeah, not the iterator, but the current position. So, and that's why we define them as the private, both, because the idea of the iterator is that this these parameters are wrapped inside, so no one outside should access them directly, because that's basically the idea of the iterator classes. We just the purpose is to wrap the list inside and to actually to control the access to this list. So as we will see next, we do not want to allow the access from the outside the class to be done, right? So in this case, we wrap the list and we wrap the current position as well. That's the idea. So imagine again if we have, maybe in some way we can consider this not as a container but as the controller of the, let's see, as the controller. So that's the controller. We want to create here controller, and inside the controller we can have some different things which allow us to control the, in this case we just want to control the collection of orders. So we have the collection of orders inside in type of list, yeah. And we're using this this class, in our case that's the class of orders, we want to control this collection and control the way we access this collection. So again, if we go through the list, so we use this controller as the iterator, then we control the list, we go through all the lists, all the items of the list, of all the items of the from the collection, and we, using the index, the current order variable, we simply know at which position we are now. That's the idea of the iterator. And yeah, let's move on. So that's the second point is almost implemented. We need to implement some methods, and these methods are pressing by tapping Ctrl space. We can we can override them, and we can see what are the methods to be overridden. So the first one is hasNext. How can we do it? We can check. So again, we go to them, and all the methods which we implement here are used on this list. So basically, every method will be applied to this list in some way. So we have hasNext. It means that we want to check if, imagine that we are iterating, yeah. So this class represents the iteration process. As it stands here, it is Iterator. So imagine that we go through the list, the collection. We go through the collection which is placed here, and we want to check if we are at the current position. At the moment we don't know which position is it, but imagine that's position X, just some position, and we want to check if there is something on the next position, and the next position will be current +1, right? So what we do, we first of all check the wall size of the collection, of the list, of the collection of the list. In this case, these terms are the same. First we can check if it's greater than 0, because otherwise it won't have next anyway. And the second one is that we want to check if the current order is less than the size of the collection. If that's the method. If that condition is true, it means that it has the next one, right? And if it has the next one, return true. Otherwise, we return false. That's the idea. That's the idea of the method hasNext. We just simply want to check if we have the next element next after the current one, yeah. So we are at the current position. Then we check if there's the next element on the collection, on the list. Again, if we just a small explanation about the terms I'm using here. If I say list, it means that this is the variable inside this class, this object. Yeah, if we're talking about the exact collection. If I'm talking about the collection, it means that I'm talking about the collection which belongs to this iterator. So we go, if that's iterator, we go through the collection, and we iterate through the collection. And that's just a small explanation about the terms I use here. What else we need to implement? As it stands here, we need to implement next method, and the next means that's the next element. We want to fetch the next element. First of all, we actually want to check if there is a next element. To check this, again, we use method hasNext. So if it's true, then we go to the next one and we increment the iterator. Increment, again, let's get this to be more ceremonial. And if there is next, then that's good. We go to the next one. Yeah, and otherwise need to throw no such element exception. Else throw no such element exception. Throw new person. Yeah, we need to import this as well, yeah, on top if you can see. And that's practically it for the oh yeah, and here I forgot to return the order. So to return the order, we need to ask the host to return the current order for us. Yeah, let's use this. And yeah, so here we need to use brackets because we have more than one statement here. Yeah, we have two statements. That's why we need to use brackets. Yeah, because we have two statements here. Just one small. Oh, yeah. Here. Okay. Yeah, that's about this method. And yeah, maybe don't. Yeah, I yeah, I expected this question here. And yeah, basically the idea is that this method is overridden. This method is overridden. Go to yeah. Actually, I just thought about this question. Yeah, as we can see here, this method is a bit tricky because it comes from the interface. It is declared on the interface, and here we simply override it. Maybe let's just have a small remark here. Yeah, let's use our code examples project. So here let's create the interface, then interface with exception. So interface framework actually. Framework. Yeah. So we create interface. We declare the method here. Public method. Public void method. And we create the class just section. Yeah. And from here I want to implement that interface. And it shows us that we need to implement that interface. Throw new section. Next, simple exception. And yeah, here it shows us that we need to handle it. Close exception. And yeah, as we can see here, it does not allow us to do. Just a moment. If we implement this exception, yeah, if we throw this exception, yeah, you can see that that's how it works. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Yeah, if we throw the exception which is generic one, it shows that we need to handle it. And the problem is that we cannot do it because in this case it is not compatible to the decoration provided in the interface implemented here. So that's the tricky point. If the exception comes from the import, that it doesn't need to be handled, and the same is here. Yeah, the same is here. If this is the generic exception, then I mean not generic but not imported exception, then it needs to be thrown, yeah, handled, yeah, needs to be handled. And yeah, in this case, so if we don't implement the interface, we can handle it. We can handle it because this is not the interface. But if we implement the interface, we cannot escape this issue. So if we implement the interface, it allows us to do it such way. So that's the a little bit tricky point. Yeah. So if the exception is actually imported, then we can throw it. Yeah, that's a little bit tricky here, but that's how it works. So that's a good question and a good food for thought. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, let's have a break now, and after the break we'll continue with this example. Okay, let's move on. I see Mark is tapping something. Okay, let's wait. And the question is, can I explain why we need to get this current order on line 63? It's an int and I can't wrap my mind around it, so we need to get an object. Yeah, so what do we do here? As I said, this is the controller class of our list. Moment. Yeah, this is the controller class of our list. So from this so this method will be available publicly from the point of view of this class. So what we do here, we ask for the next order. So we have the iterator of the orders, we have the collection with which we are working. So, and we basically, the items are stored here. So at the moment we are on the current position and we want to get the next one from the current point of view. So first of all we check if there is the next one, then we increment the current position, so we go to the next one, and from here we ask this list to get us the current order. So there's the list of the orders, and here so that's the method get, and to the method get we provide the index which we want to get. And this index is the current order, the current position. That's why we provide it this way. It will return us the next order. So get the order by this index. Yes, we will get the order by this index, which is the current position we are using. Kind of. And remember, that's, so we have the list. The list is ordered. The list is ordered. It is not sorted collection. So basically, if we put it in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that will return us the order sequenced by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the simple idea here. That's the idea here, and that is how it works. So that's about the next. Then what we have here, we have the method. Okay, there's no, we can basically, okay, maybe let's go step by step. That's about the method needs to be implemented from the class Iterator. So as we can see, we have no more errors. It means that the second step is done. Then we can go to the first step. The first step asks us to implement the constructor. So let's do it. So the method constructor, the method orders. Orders. And from here, what what we need to do, create new empty orders. So we, in this case, sorry, that was not needed, because it needs to be done from the constructor, but that's kind of the same way. Basically there is no difference if we do it. Orders, this orders equals, we'll create new list of orders. And yeah, the current one also don't just need to be yeah. One more thing, yeah, that was my mistake here. We don't need to initialize them here, we can initialize them on the constructor, but actually there's no difference if we do it here or if we do it here or if we do it on the constructor. There's absolutely no difference. Even the only difference is that in the constructor we can just do some logic here. So here we just simply assign them statically, not statically, yeah, it's not correct, we don't assign them statically, but kind of statically, yeah, because in this case we cannot write any logic. Here we can write the logic in the constructor. And yeah, one more thing I just want to miss that the collection starts at 0. So in case we don't have any elements of the collection, in this case we cannot assume that the current one is 0. That's why we need to use the negative index, which basically means that by default we have no elements in the collection. Yeah. That's why we assume that the initial current position is -1. Because in theory, not in theory, but by default we have no elements inside the collection. It means that we cannot have the current element from this collection. In this case we have it as -1. That's just to have this again. If we have it 0, then imagine if we have the list with initial list, or yeah, so if we have not initial, but if the list is with the size 0, then yeah, then we want to get the first element. What we do, we call the method hasNext, and it checks if there's next, and like if it has 0, if it has the first element only, which will have the position 0. In this case, what will happen? We check if size is greater than 0. That's correct. It has one element. Then the current one is 0. The size, okay, that's also fine. But what happens here? We cannot get the first element. Why? Because that will go to the next element, and it will produce us this problem. So we need to start with -1. Yeah. If we start with -1, it means that, okay, here it checks size is 1, which is greater than -1, so that's true. So it has next, and here if we want to check, if we want to get next, we can get the first element, which is the element with the index 0. Right, and that is how we can get it. So we start with -1. That's for the constructor. Yeah. Create new empty elements. Then there is the method add. Method add asks us to add past order to the orders. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, there's no such method from the superclass. That's why from the interface implemented here. that's why we need to declare it. So we declare it as the public one because that's basically the idea, because it will be accessed from the outside. That's why we declare it public, and we want to add something, so we call the method add. Comes buttons here. We call the method add, then we want to add the element past here. We can call it the item, and we add orders, and then we just simply add the item provided here. And just since this is the method, we cannot escape the brackets, so we add them here. Simple idea. We just want to add the elements past this method to the collection. Yeah, that's about the method add. Nothing complicated. Then get items list. Also nothing special here. We can simply public list order, list of orders. We return the items list. Return all the orders collected here. We return this list. What else? Yeah, that's about this. So this one is completed. And just to return the list. Then there is, let's go to this one at the end, because that's the most complicated. To calculate set of orders from list. We'll return to this at the end. But before then, let's go with the simple methods. So the method sort, just need to sort them. Just need to sort on the collection. So public void sort. As I said, we can use, I think I said it on Friday, on Saturday, we can use the method called the method from the collections class. We can import it, and we can use the method sort. This orders, which will sort us this list. So since this list contains the elements from the order class, the objects from the order class, as we can see this, so we already implemented the comparable interface, and at the moment it means that these objects are comparable, and we can compare them. So since the method compare to is implemented, we can understand which element is greater than, so yeah, just which element, not which element, but how the elements can be sorted. Yeah, we know that which element is greater than the current one. So if we have two elements, we can compare them. Yeah, that's the idea. And if we can compare at least two elements, not at least, but every two elements from this class, it means that we can compare every element, and it means that we can sort them. Yeah? And that's why we can just simply pass this list to the method sort, which will actually compare all the elements, and using the best sorting algorithm, it will produce the result. And as you remember, in Java all the parameters are passed by reference. It means that we can simply pass the list. It means that we pass the object, because again the objects are the list. The lists are the objects as well. So in this case, it has all the objects, as you remember, have the reference. So in this case, the list also has the reference. So we pass the object, the list, and in this case, all the changes done inside this method will be reflected here as well. So once we pass the parameter orders to the method sort, we will get the changed list once this method is called. Right, what else do we have here? Okay, the boolean is already implemented. Next also is already implemented. Then the method remove. Need to just remove the list provided. I think, yeah, that comes from the super class. That's why we can also use the pattern from the super class. And yeah, here we first will need to check if we can remove it. So if this current is, if it's not -1, yeah, because if it's -1, then it means that there are no elements in the list, and we have nothing to remove. And also we need to check if the current order is less than the size, because we cannot remove something which is greater than the last element. But I think in this case it's not needed, because this case is practically impossible, and that's why I will not do it here, because basically as it stands from the logic, basically this is the only place where the current position can be incremented, and we can only increment if the next one is available. So yeah, in case it doesn't have next, it cannot go through. It cannot increment current order. So I think that's enough. If we just check if the position is greater or equals than 0, because again we cannot remove it if the position if position equals to -1, so it basically means there are no elements to remove. And yeah, if there is current position, then we can remove the current element from the list. To be more ceremonial, let's use this. And yeah, we need to decrement the current position, yeah, or otherwise we need to throw new, and here's again the same. That was mentioned here, yeah. Remove, yeah, otherwise throw illegal state exception. And again, since this is okay, that's also not from the in this case. Yeah, it's interesting why it allows us to okay, yeah. That's a little bit, yeah, strange question. Why it allows us to not put throws here. Yeah, in a simple case, if it yeah, I agree. You said that it's not needed. And okay, here we can also see that it draws unsupported operations. Okay, I will maybe let's leave it to Friday. I will explore this topic in more details. Generally, what I just do, if it's not requested, then I don't put it. But yeah, maybe until Friday I will explore this topic in more details, and I will explain why in some cases it is not needed. Basically, what you can do, again, if it's not complaining, then you can leave it as is. Otherwise, need to put trolls. But yeah, I will provide you more details about this on Friday, because I will explore this topic a little bit more. But again, if it's not complaining, then you don't need this. Can you please show what it yeah, these are the elements which are important. And so that these are related to the list, and this one is related to no such element exception. Yeah, these are the imports here. Okay, yeah, and so what else? That's about the remove method. Then the last method is to string, which can also be overridden here, and in this case we just simply need to return the shall we store this as a string. Okay, so we need to call the method to string from the orders list. Yeah, that's neat. And the last one is maybe the most complicated, is the method set orders. Set the collection. So there are some hints to convert orders to string use. Yeah, to string, and that's what we've done here. We just done use built-in list sort method to sort list of orders. This order sort. Okay, that may be a little bit complicated. Lists. Yeah, so we can. Yeah, otherwise that could be a little bit complicated. Matt, which homework are we working on this week? Yeah, Leon, I will. Yeah, there's something. Yeah, there's something for me to tell you about the current home. Yeah, the current homework is activity 13, which is about Java database connectivity. I will give you some explanation as I promised you on Saturday. And there are some things to be noted and to be done. I will explain you these things after this one. Yeah? But yeah, that's activity per team. But okay, before that, let's set up, or not, yeah, let's create calculated set of orders from list. Okay, description below. Yeah, here's the description. When implemented get item set method, join all requests for the same items from different customers. Yeah, that was that complicated method we were discussing once. The how it should be implemented. And yeah, we need to, if there's the same item number, we need to first of all join the customers and count the counters. Okay, let's do it here. Let's do it. So first of all, need to. Okay, just one moment. So first of all, need to declare this method. Set, and the set is set of orders. Set of orders, and the method name is get items set. Get items set. It asks us to return something. Okay, let's declare the set. Order set. Use tree set. Oh yeah, I thought need to add new. And let's already return it, just to forget about the return. And yeah, first of all need to, yeah, as I said, what we are discussing on Saturday or on Friday, just yeah, last week, how can we join the orders? For this purpose, we need to have the previous order to be available for the next one. So if we have orders from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then for example, when we are on the 5th iteration or the 5th order, it means that we need to also, we can have the access to the previous one. So yeah, let's declare it. So for the previous one, the initial value will be null. So that will be used for the first iteration. Then actually to have these orders in the correct sequence, we need to sort them. And I think, yeah, we need to sort them. And we can iterate through them. Let's use the new syntax. We will go through all the orders here. And yeah, first of all, need to check if the previous one, yeah, that's for the first iteration. So if previous one is null, then so that's for the first iteration. For the first iteration, we won't join anything, because that's the first iteration. There's nothing to join because we don't have the previous one. So we pass the current value to the previous one. Current value is order. Yeah. And we skip the following process because that's just the first iteration and there's nothing to join. On the second and further iteration, we check if the current one, if the name is the same as it stands here. So since this is the string, we need to use equals, and we check if the name is the same as the previous name. If this is the same, that for the previous order we count, we add the previous count to the, we add the current count to the previous count. We add it and we join the customers. So to join the customers, just need to concatenate them in the following way. Now using commas and add a new customer. Okay, that's a question from us. Is there any difference between word null and digit 0? Yes, for the objects we use null. For the integers we use 0. Yeah, that's the difference. On one, thanks Marita. That's that's the mix of the operators. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that was the just messed up. Yeah. Yeah. So again, if the previous name is the same, then we join the customers. Otherwise, there is nothing to join for the previous order, because as we can see, we have the sorted list. That's why maybe I'll use space to make it more visible. So again, here, since the list is sorted, if for the previous one there is no more, if not for the previous one, but for the current one, let's consider the previous one. So since we are processing the previous one, we consider this as the current one which we are processing. And if for the previous one there is no more orders to join, again, since we have the sorted collection, if the one we are processing at the current iteration is not the same as the previous one, in this case the previous one has no more entries to join, and in this case we change the previous one. We'll change it after that, but first of all we need to add it to our set. Previous order, and we assign the current one to the previous one. So the current one becomes the previous one. As you remember, the key property of sets, the key property is that the set contains only unique elements. So you cannot add duplicate elements to the set. It is prohibited. That's why we can be sure that the set will contain only unique elements. And by design of our code, that will be achieved, yeah, because we will add the elements only when there's nothing more to join. Yeah, and as we can see, the name will be can be repeated, but in this case we just simply join all the customers, and the name will be unique for all the elements in the order. Yeah. But again, by the construction of the order set, even if we have the unique name, like if we have a unique name, it can also allow us to add in theory, that can also allow us to add the elements with the same name to the set, which will be considered as unique because they will have the different they may have different customer account. So, and as we know from the method compare to, we can consider the elements to be equal to each other only when the name is the same, the customer name is the same, and the count is the same. Only in this case where all these three elements are the same, in this case we may consider that the elements are the same. And as we know, the set may be considered the same when the elements are the same. And again, the elements can be the same only when count, customer, and name are the same. Right, that's the idea. And that's it for the cycle. And again, as I said, we need to process the last element. So if the last element is not null, otherwise there is no need to add it, we can add it to the order set. Can add it to the order set, and at the end it will be returned. Yes. And also there is, okay, I think that's okay. Let's check if I have not missed anything. Let's run the unit test. Maybe I missed something. Let's see. Yes, something is missed. What is missed here? Okay, that's maybe, yeah, that was the one mentioned from from Zana. Yeah, string order, yeah, that was mentioned from Zana. String order sent here. Yeah, maybe that was the issue. Let's check. Yeah, so that's, sorry, my fault here. Order here needs to be orderer. Yeah. Here as well, missed, sorry, my fault. Okay, still something is missed. Let's see. Public GTM activity order. Okay. The order, just a moment. What does it expect? String. Okay, yeah. That was the issue. As it stands here, okay, yeah, maybe just a moment. Maybe let me try this thing. Okay, so that was the issue, that the integer had to be as the proper class. Okay, what is missed in the orders class? In the orders class we miss get items list, public utility, get items list. Yeah, I missed it. Okay, I think I missed it really. No. Java orders, get items. Java set. Items list. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I really missed the items list. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. My fault. Yeah, I just missed it. Okay. Okay, and the method equals. We have one more issue. And the method equals. Okay, there's class cost exception. Class object cannot be. Okay, yeah, that was I was also expected this. Is this method equals? Method equals. Oh, that was, yeah, that's another class. Equals, yeah, that was the problem. What we can do here if not object instance of order, and we just return false. Yes, that was okay. Let's see it now. And yes, now the unit test is passed. Right, that was the solution. I agree that the task was not easy, because there are too much stuff needed to be done here. Let's get this done. Yeah, but yeah, that was something which needed to be so yeah, that was a bit complicated, but from my point of view, it's not as complicated as the large one. Yeah, so there were so much things to do, like maybe some so what, from my point of view, what could be unclear. Yeah, in 1 week, I agree, but basically just maybe one small comment. You actually had an option to ask me about some unclear things. I agree that maybe 1 week would be a little bit, that was maybe a little bit for sure, a little bit short for you, I agree, a little time, but basically from my point of view, what were the methods which could be unclear for you? Okay, maybe hashcode, I agree, that's maybe not the simple thing to understand. I agree. The method equals in this case, so this part is, from my point of view, pretty clear. This may be a little bit complicated, not complicated, but not the solution you could find the easiest one. But as you've seen from the unit test, this error happens when there's a cast error, and again, every time we have the cast error, we can escape this using the check on the instance of. Yeah, I agree that it makes a big difference, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, Marita, that's maybe it would be best to check the question sent by us in front of everyone, but that's yeah, Zane, but that was what I was doing. That's what I'm doing, what I usually do. Yeah, Zane, I check. Yeah, I mean I check all the questions in front of you. Yeah, there's nothing I do privately or not in front of you. Yeah, everything is done in front of you. Yeah, I agree that you are the beginners, and that's fun. Yeah, that's why I usually try to answer all the questions. And yeah, if in case something is not clear for you, you are always welcome to ask. And you also, that's really good that you try to ask, try to understand. And again, what I think I haven't said it to you for a long time, but I think I mentioned it at the beginning of our courses that you need to, and basically what I've faced in my experience, every time you actually face any complicities, like if you don't understand even the simple things, yeah, you always need to ask. Yeah, that was how basically I learned a lot of things, is that I was never shy to ask even the sorry for this word, stupid questions. These questions helped me a lot. Yeah, because basically there are two options. The option one is to don't be brave and to not ask the questions, even the stupid questions or the silly questions or the simple questions. Yeah, okay. Let's consider this as one thing. That's one point, and in this point you just spend a lot of time to find answer by yourself. And in this case, you just spend a lot of time to simple questions. Yeah, to you basically, from my point of view, it's a little bit a waste of time. Not waste of time, but yeah, in theory, that in summary, that's waste of time if you don't ask the questions and you don't ask the questions and you just try to manage it yourself. But like, imagine you actually, what actually happens if you have a silly question, a small question, silly question, then you can actually, so there's an option, and there's another option. You can ask this question to your colleague, to your friends, to your manager, whatever, to everyone. Yeah, if you can answer this, you can ask this question, and then you just get an answer in 10 seconds. So that's so again, you can see the difference. If you try to manage it yourself, then you spend hours and hours. If you ask someone, you just spend 10 minutes. And I think from your colleague point of view, it's also like with me or with other colleagues you have. I think it's every time, especially in IT, it should be fine for your colleagues to hear some small questions. That's every time. That's it's fine every time. Yeah, if that's basically also the job of programmer, the IT programmer. That you need to answer all the small questions, and that was. But I agree that this task was a huge one. Yeah, maybe that was not the complicated. Actually, in this case, you didn't need to invent your own algorithm to face some strange situations. But in this case, there were so many a little bit small things you just had to implement. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that was intensive here. I agree, but as you may consider, this is the last month of our course. That's why the intense, as usually at the end, intense becomes maybe higher and higher because we have some topics left now. That's why we need to try to cover them. Yeah. But yeah, this activity was a little bit large. Yeah, it was activity, but okay, that was nice from you that you tried. Yeah, you had lots of questions, and it's fine that if you not managed to have not managed to finish this, that's fine. We can now discuss everything, and hope it becomes more clear for you. Okay, for now let's have 10 minutes break as usually, and after the break we will talk about our next home task. I will explain you some things there. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, first of all, I will share the code with you. Let me copy them and home tasks folder. Stage them. Some commit. Push. Yeah. Push to. Okay. So it is pushed. You can check it in the repository. So the code is pushed, and what I wanted to share with you about the activity 0, about the activity, no, so 0, but activity 13 is that there are some adjustments to be done from our side, from my side. First of all, I will share the one code with you. Moment. No, just a moment. I will upload it. Yeah, here's the class. So yeah, this is the class needed for unit test. In this particular exercise, I just made some adjustments. Okay, let's see what are the adjustments here. Let's copy the file. So yeah, in your original exercise, teacher manager. Yeah, in your original exercise, you can see that you have the user and the password and the URL. Since we all have different computers and different systems, there won't be unique URL. You can just basically use the one we already used in our theory exercises. I mean, in my case, I used that one 192 and so on and so on. You can use your localhost or something like that. Basically, the one worked for you. The address, then username, you can simply use root, and the password can be used as the initial one. Yeah. Okay. That's one adjustment. Another adjustment is, so as you can see in your, so yeah, that's the first adjustment. You need to copy you need to paste the file to, I just shared with you, to this package activity 13, and after that you'll see, yeah, it will be here, and so you can run the unit test after that. That's one, and you can see here's another file. I think there is a description, but basically I will show you how to do it. here's the file, and this is the SQL script. Yeah, so you can open it with Notepad or any other text editor. So here it is, and once you copied it, you can, yeah, first of all, to have any success here, you need to start examp, your localhost. So once it is done, just go through all these Windows security alarms. Then you can go to admin. That will run you to PHP my admin, which we are already using. And from what you can do, yeah, first we'll copy the code from here. Oops, sorry, thought. And yeah, and from here you need to go to SQL. So yeah, you are in server position. Then you need to go to SQL. And here you need to pass the, let's go, pass the code from this file, database SQL, then run it here. And you need to press go. That will run you the query. The query is executed. What you will see after that, yeah, you can refresh, and after the refresh you will see that you will have a new database. This is the database from the file, and that will be available here. Here you have all the necessary tables which can be used in the code. And yeah, after that you can implement the code. Okay. Yeah. So please export the requirements here. Then let's see how it goes for us. Again, on Friday, on Saturday, yeah, maybe let's put the deadline for this one until next Wednesday, so we can discuss it on Monday as well. So let's see how it is. So until next Wednesday, yeah, because I want to give you more time to export this exercise. Yes. Yeah. Any questions about these steps I just mentioned? Okay. Well, is that not yet? Okay. So regarding the steps, it's clear. You need to paste the file here. Database test. What do you copy? Yeah. Yeah. First of all, the file I just shared, you need to put it here. The second one is you go to here, database SQL file. You can see if you open it, you can open it in text editor like Notepad. And you copy the code from here and you go to your PHP my admin. It's still open for me. Okay, here it is. PHP my admin. You are on the. You need to be on the server level. So you are on the server. You go to SQL. You paste it here and you run SQL query. Here after that you need to refresh the list of databases and you have a new database here. That's one used for the This will be used for this exercise. Yeah. Right. Okay. Then, if there are no questions about this one, then that's what one is typing. Some things from to do one. Yeah. First, as you can see, you don't need to pass the database name. As you can see here, it's just server name, then slash, then just the parameters. Previously, during the testing, when we had our theory exercises, we also passed the database name here, like database activity, like we did it this way. So we provide the local host address, then the database name here. Yeah. In this case, we can skip this, and in the select statements we can access the table. Yeah, here I already written here how we can select from the database using database name, then dot, then table name. That's about the first one. So just simple, no need to pass the database name, just the name of the local host. Like no, dot 0 and so on and so on. Yeah. Localhost name, and auto commit to false. That's what I was explaining to you on Saturday about the committing. Yeah. About the commit, if we set up commit to false at the beginning and don't commit the changes until the end of the program, that will not save the changes to the database after the execution of the program. Yeah. But before the end of the program, you need to call commit, that will commit all the changes done by us on the database level. Yeah. That was the okay. So first, I think. Okay, one more question. Okay, sure. Sure. Prepared statement example. Now, what do you mean by prepared statement example? Ah, okay, that was what I was. Ah, yeah, I show to you. Where was it? I think that was somewhere. This is the one, yeah. Here it is under the test. Yeah, basically I've written everything in the same file. Yeah, it should be here under GDBC. Okay. So that one is asking about find teacher. It returns teacher, but query cannot return an object. Moment, let me check. string teacher. Oh yes, we need to, in this case we need to construct the object by ourselves, yeah. Yes, certainly here you need to construct the object, the teacher object by yourself, yeah. But in this case you just need to call the constructor and pass all the parameters from the query selected, yeah. So you select the query, you get the parameters, then you create the object based on the parameters. Yeah. It must be done by your own. Yeah. But that's, I mean, that's just only one constructor call. So as you can see here, you have the constructor with all the elements. So you just need to select these elements and pass them to constructor. Yeah. You can just, small hint, you can directly select them here. Yeah, here. So you have the, you can simply create new teacher. Yes, I want to have new teacher, and equals new teacher. Then you have the selection, result query, result from the selection. Then you get integer. You can select the first column, yeah. And you have get string from the second column. And yeah, and then the third column, what was the get string from the third column. So that's basically how you can construct the object. So in this case, you select in the same sequence, you select ID as the first column, first name as the second column, and the last name as the third column, and you can get this result here. And you can construct the object this way. Yes, that's about. Okay, let's go with other questions from Helena. There was a question. Okay, there was not a question, but done. That was about. Okay, Helena shared the activities. Okay, yeah, example. Okay, about example. Okay, that was a bit tricky. Yeah, so about debugging. That. Yeah, that's what. That was. Yeah, regarding the Svetlan's question, yeah. You can use it this way, yeah. That's correct, yeah. Marita's question, yeah, what Svetlan answered. Okay, about example. Yeah. I think I provided the access. Other example, control. So just how to figure out when it is necessary. It's about imports. How to know to import. Yes, basically you need to import almost every time when the class is located outside the package you're using, except some packages like Java lang import Java. Sorry, import. You don't need to import Java lang because I think it's already imported. Yeah. So almost every class needs to be imported except maybe Java lang and the ones declared inside the package you are currently in. Yeah. Yeah, almost everything except maybe a Java lang. And yeah, yeah, that's it. Only Java lang doesn't need to be. It comes automatic, not so not so automatically. Actually, when you type something like here, you use the class. Maybe use driver. You can see there's the package here, and when you enter it, that will import you automatically. That's just yeah, it comes from them. Like Eclipse sends as our development environment. When it does kind of automatically, yeah, when we type it. Just when you write the code in like in Notepad, for example, it won't do it automatically. In Eclipse, it allows us this feature. When we type it, then it imports us automatically. Yeah. Okay, about example. Okay, just one moment. Let's try again. Okay, still does not allow. Check this. Okay, one moment. Let's run example as administrator. Okay, now we can debug. And check that. Yes, that's a little bit complicated. Okay, so yeah, we tried to change this one. That we were, yeah, we were trying it once. Maybe that's possible because of all computer like 2011. 2010. Maybe there's some setup which does not allow us to do it. Okay, so but yeah, that one you changed it to 8080. Okay. Okay, Helena, can you try and go here to Apache config, then this one, then slide a bit down, and yeah, this one I think that was changed by you last time to 8080 to 8080. Okay, one more thing you can change is to find the server name, localhost 80, and change it to localhost 8080 as well. Yeah, try to do it, maybe that can help you. That's for this one. Okay. Type server name localhost 8080. What else you, so okay, since if this one is done, yeah, try to add another 80. Try to add another 80. Then save this file. Yeah. Save this file. Yeah, try it. Yeah, save it. Save it. Then try to run it again. Let's try to run it again. Try to run it again. Okay, that's still okay. Then try to go to again to config and select the second one. Yeah, but then okay, yeah, then select the second one. The second one, then here listen this one. Try to change it to again add free at the end. Change, yeah, here you have listen 4 for free by default. Try to add another one, yeah, like this. Then try to search the string. Yeah, here, so scroll down a bit and change listen 443 to 4433. This is here, and search for the string I just sent to you, this one. Search down and change and change 443 to 4433 as well, yeah. Okay. Okay, then try to save it and then try to run it. I won't save mine. Try to save yours and run it after that. Okay. Can you? Okay, can you press then on locks and press on the arrow lock? Okay. Oh, that would be cool. Can you press on the locks and press on Apache arrow lock here? Okay, this is empty. And if you go to access walk, okay, that should be okay. There's nothing more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't create new one. Okay, okay, 1 minute. Okay, Helena, can you, yeah, did you tick this one? Show debug information to more details? More details. Yeah, maybe one more, one more last thing. Can you tick on show debug information here? Yes, so you need to run as administrator and then press on config. Then, yeah, you just need to run as administrator here. Yeah, how did I get here? Again, press config and select show debug information here. Press save. Helena, have you had any success? Config. Okay, so can you press save after that? Okay. Okay, and so for now, try to go to the let's keep exam opened. Let's keep it opened maybe. And go to the command line and try to execute. Yeah, and try to execute this command from the command line now. And can you please show me what it shows you here? No, I mean, do you have this? You should have at least any output here. What the? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now let's think. And then go to open logs. Okay. Seems that this is the same. Nothing different here. No problem. Then for screenshots. Wait just a moment. Let's try to. Okay, I think I'll have the same. Uh, how I know? One. Can you maybe? A moment. Can you type this one in your browser? Yes, to which, what does it mean that it takes you to the internet? I mean, if you tap it, what do you have? Not tap it, but when you press on the link, what do you have on the result? Can you? I mean, what does it show to you? Looks like mine now. Okay. Okay, it means that everything works fine for you. Yeah. It means that all. It seems that all this time that was. I'm not sure, but at least it works now, and yay. Okay, very good. So now you have anything to work. Okay. So. Okay, nice. It works now. And now today. It's time to celebrate. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and on Wednesday we'll have. Yay! Fantastic. Yeah, really good. So yeah, very hard work today. Uh, uh, I assume that it was actually running. Basically, what I've just seen here, when you send a screenshot of your console, it is basically the same when it means that it's already running. So it means that it is already running. I'm not sure if it's running from this or somewhere else, but it is running. Maybe yeah, it's running from somewhere. Maybe I'm not sure from where it is running, but it seems that it is already running from somewhere. So it means that you already have this localhost where it is already running from somewhere. At least this lock means that it is running from somewhere. Okay, yeah, very good. So now you are able to do the homework and to align with him. Yeah, okay. That's fine, but for others, yeah, remember that we'll have the test on Wednesday. I'll send it like approximately at 5 o'clock, and you'll be able to finish it until the end of the day. And the topics are exceptions, a little bit about Java database connectivity as well, about the collections, about the collections, what else? Yeah, about JSON, about XML as well. There will be some questions. Basically, yeah, everything we explored before, since the topics we had on the previous test. Yeah. Yeah, Zana, but actually you can send me even after 23:59 because I will. That's the time I will be sleeping anyway. Yeah, so you can. Okay. There's some query errors from Christina. Okay, maybe let's discuss it on Friday, because yeah, let's discuss it. Yeah, Christina. Please remind me, Christine, please remind me on Friday about this issue. Yeah, and I will also resend, you mean all the presentations or the ones, okay, I can share all the presentations we had. Just wait. Okay, about the collections, this one, about the exceptions, this one, about GDBC, this one, about JSON, this one, about XML, too much presentations, but yeah, this one is the right one. Okay, it's done now. A moment. Okay, and so yeah, I think today we can close the session for today, and yeah, let's meet on Wednesday. We won't have the screen sharing. I'll just send the test, and again, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them. Okay, thank you very much for today, and see you on Wednesday. Bye.